Thus have I heard. That's the equivalent of Eva Me Su Tang. In Chinese is Ru Se Wo Wen. At one time, the Exalted One, the Bhagawa, was staying near Savatthi in Jeta's Grove at Anathapindika's Park. I stop here for a moment to explain some of the terms. Most of our suttas, in fact all of our suttas, are supposed to start with these words, thus have I heard. And then here the Exalted One is a translation for the word Bhagawa. The Buddha had 10, you could say 10 epithets, 10 names. The Bhagawa is one of them, and the Bhagawa is the one probably used most by people in addressing the Buddha. Here is translated as the Exalted One. Elsewhere it could be translated as the Blessed One. And in Chinese is Se Chun. Was staying near Savatthi. Savatthi is a place where the Buddhas used to go quite frequently. He spent most of his vasas, reign periods at Savatthi. In Jeta's Grove, this Jetavane. This Jeta was a prince, and he owned this grove, this kind of forest area. And this man called Anathapindika bought this grove from this Prince Jeta. So that's why it's called Jeta's Grove. And it's also called Anathapindika's Park or monastery. Here the word is Arame or Arama is a word for monastery. And there are a few ways of calling a monastery. Arama is one, Vihara is another one, Avasa is another one. This word Avasa, the Thais have shortened it to Avasa, can also be said to be Avasa, and they shorten it to Awat, and then later they call it Wat. This man, Anathapindika, he was a very generous person, a philanthropist, and he used to build this orphanage. That's why he was given the name Anathapindika, one who helps the orphans. Actually, his real name was a bit different, but people used to call him Anathapindika. So at one time, the Exalted One was staying near Savatthi in Jeta's Grove at Anathapindika's Park. Is this microphone working? Can you all hear me? Okay. Then a certain Devata or Deva, heavenly being, in the night's last extreme, whose extreme brilliance lighted up the whole of Jeta's Grove, approached the Exalted One. Having approached the Exalted One and revered him, he stood to one side. I just stop here for a moment. So this Deva, sometimes these Devas used to come to see the Buddha in the night. Because in the night normally human beings won't be coming to see the Buddha. Most people will be sleeping at night. So the Devas would come at night when nobody was around, and it's you are able to speak to the Buddha personally. So sometimes, like some of the women arahants, arahant nuns, some of them like Upalavana, the nun with the greatest psychic power, she also would come and see the Buddha at night because nobody's around, the Buddha is free. So, like this Upalavana, because she had great psychic power, she would fly in the air, and then come to see the Buddha. So in the same way, these Devas also flew and came to see the Buddha. So when they came, their brilliance, their light would illuminate the whole of the monastery. But this light that illuminated the whole monastery, maybe only those who had psychic power could see. Then, having approached the Exalted One and revered him, he stood to one side. You see, these devas, after they pay respect to the Buddha and they want to speak to the Buddha, they stand to one side and then they speak to the Buddha. This is their way of showing respect. Just like I heard, it seems like this was told, like some of these Western monks in England. When the Sri Lankans come to see the monk is sitting down. Then the Sri Lankans would come pay respect to the monk. Then they stand and talk to the monk. And then the Thais would come pay respect, and then they sit down lower than the monk and talk to the monk. So it's a different. They have different convention. To the Sri Lankan, when you sit down, it's not respectful. You have to be standing to be respectful. But to the Thais, standing up so high is not respectful. You have to sit lower than the monk. So it's all different convention. So this for the Deva, they think standing is more respectful. Standing there to one side, that Devata addressed the Exalted One in verses. Many Devas and men have pondered on blessings, longing for safety. Tell then the highest blessing. So here, I stop here for a moment to comment. So here this Deva is saying that many heavenly beings and human beings have wondered how to get blessings because they long for safety. So he asked the Buddha to tell how to get the highest blessing. The highest blessing here is Mangala Muttamang. Consists of two words, Mangala and Uttamang. Uttama, we know the Malay word Uttama is the first. So here it means also the supreme, the highest. So Mangala Muttamang, the highest blessing.